that about, right?
Very true.
I suppose. I'm now just upset that I have like two of the dopest DJs in Ohio and we're talking about the weather. So we're gonna get right into introductions. NuERA, I'm gonna start with you. Tell us who you are, how you got into the game, and what you've been doing.
You know, I guess first off, you know, I've been DJing probably upwards of 8 or 9 years now. I started out really as a fan of DJing, and wanting to become what I was a fan of. And I started, you know, working at the craft. I got my first set of like turntables. I took my refund check and bought like one of those DJ in the box kits where you get like the two shitty Numarks and a mixer. And you know, I kind of just got that. I got me a laptop and Serato, and you know, hit the ground running. And I just did everything I could to be better. And along the way, people wanted to pay me to DJ because they thought I was good. And I just kind of took whatever came my way without really wanting to be a specific type of DJ. And I, you know, that's kind of really what led to me doing a lot of the different stuff that I've done. But the one thing that really was always with me, I've always been competitive. You know, I play sports and stuff like that. So to have an opportunity to compete as a DJ was enticing to me. And from that day forth, I signed up for my first battle, and I just do that as well, you know, every chance I get, because, you know, I'm just competitive in that way. And I always feel like if I can sign up, if I can be in the battle, I feel like I have a chance to win. And it just so happened I win a lot of them too, you know, but I think that's more so just from putting in the work and being willing to put myself out there and compete more so than, you know, being special or anything like that. It's just a lot of people don't want to put in the time or try.
So I'll go real quick. NuERA, you said that you were a fan of DJing. Is there anybody specifically that influenced you, or was it just the craft itself?
I'll say initially, like as growing up, there were like mixtapes were a big thing. Like so like DJ Green Lantern used to do mixtapes, and then there's actually a DJ in Cleveland, DJ Chicago. He used to drop mixtapes, and well, he still does drop mixtapes, but you know, in his tapes was always a lot of skill in them. Like he would scratch and do these mixes and blends, and to this day, I've yet to hear a mixtape that even could compare to it.
Nice.
Yeah, those old school mixtapes are crazy, man. So intricate.
So you know, with him, the way he did it, utilizing, you know, just music of the time, you know, it was just special to me. And you know, those were really it. And then, you know, as I got older and started doing my own research, and you know, like DJ Premier was another one, the way he utilizes cuts in his production and stuff like that. Like, but you know, and then I'm a big fan of, you know, people around here, like, you know, ESO always been a guy that you know, just I remember coming back to Cleveland, he was one of the first DJs that I had seen, you know, and him, Corey Grant's another one. You know, those guys, they're, you know, they were doing it before I was doing it. So, you know, watching how they moved and operated and stuff like that, it's always been, you know, I've always been a fan of that. So definitely inspiration there as well.
Sure.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah. One thing I've noticed, NuERA, is like talking to you now, man. Like you're real calm, cool, and collected. Like very deliberate. When you perform, I feel like you're a lot more funky, a lot more bouncy. Is that deliberate, or is that just like once the music gets into you, it kind of just like wakes you up and like makes you flow a little bit? Because I don't know if SO would say this too, but like I feel like your demeanor behind the decks versus from in front of the decks is like really different.
It's definitely deliberate.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but that's one of those things. Understanding that people are watching you and they feed off of your energy is like a good portion of communication is nonverbal. So, you know, you look like you're having a good time, other people are gonna want to have a good time. And you know, I try to show that in my nonverbal communication. I am having fun, you know, but I could do the same stuff and not look like I'm having fun.
Right.
I can remember a bunch of gigs, early gigs with NuERA where he was not as physically vocal as he is now.
Yeah,
for sure. We've definitely had some like, you know, little talks, little sessions of like, yo, man, get into it. And Definitely, for sure. He's yeah.
And you
so
gotta,
yes, I've seen him be very relaxed behind them decks too, man.
Mm-hmm. And it takes a little bit of like deliberate training to kind of get comfortable behind that and like realize, oh yeah, someone is looking at me, especially when you're doing some of the more intricate patterns.
Agreed.
Eso, why don't you tell us your story, man?
I got into DJing really early, like 02, 03. I was in like 4th grade, something like that. 5th grade, something like that. And I remember seeing I don't know exactly how I caught wind of it, but I always thought that like the DMC battles were just really dope. And I got this DMC 2000 DVD, and it was Craze. I think it was his second one that he won. And it was super live. I just thought it was so cool. And I was into hip hop, really, really into hip hop. Wasn't quite into production and couldn't really see myself being a rapper, you know, or vocalist in that sense. You know what I'm saying? I did rap back in the day, though. There's some out there.
I knew you were gonna bring it up. I knew it.
Oh, there's some out there, most definitely, man. You got to go through the paces. You know, I was breakdancing too. I was doing it all. But
Mr. Hip Hop over here.
Everything hip hop, I thought it was like the coolest shit ever, man. It was like one of those things that kind of like, I don't know, it just, you know, whatever. It touched me. It worked for me. It sounded, it was my pocket. But yeah, and so I got into that. And so like my 5th grade, my Christmas of 5th grade, I got a DJ in a box, shitty Newmark Blue Dog mixer, and 2 super shitty I don't know what belt drop turntable they gave me, but it was something terrible at the time. But it was cool. I got a Chipmunk record and some other thing that my dad was like, yeah, fuck this record up, go for it, you know.
Nice.
And so I didn't know what I was doing for a while. I think I just liked the image or liked the idea of it, you know. And then maybe around like 8th grade, I started to really like figure it out. And then right around that time, though, was the time where all of the technology was changing. So CDJs began to come around. I think Torque might have been around in the next year or two after that. If you guys remember that first program to, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but there was like a first program prior to Serato that was like, you know, it was like Torque. I forgot what the other top notch was one.
Man, Torque was one I remember.
It was the Pioneer. It was one that like all my Pioneer dudes. It started with a P or something like that. Neither here nor there. No one uses it anymore, anyways. Serato just took over the game. But yeah, so I was doing it then, and I started to DJ like some parties around like 10th grade, maybe 9th grade, 10th grade, and I always thought that was cool. But the element of craze and those battle tapes, those early battle tapes, are always like something that was just special. Like these dudes were completely manipulating the music to a point where it was something brand new and people were rocking with it and getting down with it in the same sense that they do at a regular party that I'm DJing. So it's kind of like I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know how to do it. So I started doing other ways to get that same feeling, which would have been the parties and that aspect. And then as I got later in life, I started to dive a little bit more into the battle aspect and the crack and the scratching and the juggles and the intricacies of the tricks and things like that. And I hopped on YouTube University and fucking tried to learn as much as I could. Because unfortunately I didn't find a mentor. I didn't find like an older guy or somebody that knew it, that was like, yo, this is how you do it. I was just kind of going through the paces on my own, you know, which was, I think, hindered me in taking so long to develop a lot of those patterns and a lot of those tricks of the trade and stuff like that. But in turn, I was able to do parties and read crowds and do the party rocking DJ aspect of it, which was really cool. So I think the way it turned out, it worked out solid. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into DJing. So I got into DJing for the image or for the idea of it, and then I learned party rocking before I learned the real scratch stuff. Although I was always in my room just kind of playing with it, you know what I mean? Kind of touching stuff and getting my hands right and trying to make the sounds that I heard, but not really knowing how to do it. So just kind of scratching shit and just making stuff sound crazy, you know? But so, and then since then, though, since 5th grade, I've had turntables in my room everywhere I went. To college, I took them the whole 9 and just would always just kind of work on it and develop it. And then right around like 23 or 24, I started to take it real serious.
Mike, you know, I love hearing when DJs start young, because I wish I always look back and I'm like, man, if I would have just started a little bit earlier. So 5th grade that's impressive right there. And I think there was Tractor before Serato. I don't know
that
if you
was
guys
it. That's
hit
the
that
word
one.
I'm looking for. Tractor.
Yeah.
Torque Tractor.
Yeah, same thing.
Tractor
Whatever.
Scratch.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah.
Question for both of you, kind of. I mean, once you started doing like the battle routine stuff, talk about, we've had a lot of battle DJs on this podcast, but we never really talk about the practice that goes on behind the scenes. Like, talk about when you're working on a routine, how many hours are you putting into that? And like, you know, all for one show, or do you take a routine with you to the next tourney, or what?
I like to have routines that I can. I do regular clubs as well, so I like to have routines for me that I'm able to go in between both worlds. Inevitably, the patterns are going to be there, so you can do it if you take that time. But I like to be able to practice more, so I like to have routines that I can go through for both worlds. But for me, definitely, man, it is a total like an instrument, and you know, you can learn a guitar tab if you guys play the guitar, or learn a drum pattern, or learn something quickly and play it okay within the first, 30 minutes to an hour. But to be able to have it be like an extension of you and be able to play that instrument in a way that's like, there's a big difference between the guitarist from Sum 41 and Jimi Hendrix. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're both playing the same shit, but one dude probably spent way more hours than the other guy, So it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like you can hear it when it comes out. But for me, I like to be able to practice things that I can do in both worlds, so that I don't just kind of go one way, because it is a lot of practice, man. Multiple hours, to answer the question that you had originally stated, multiple hours of practice for each routine. Definitely, like for one battle, yeah, I'm practicing for a good month before that battle, just for those 6 minutes or 12 minutes total if you have 2 rounds or something, you know what I'm saying? Or 15 minutes if it's like a Red Bull style or something like that. But regardless, I mean, 15 minutes for a month worth of at least an hour a day, 5 times a week. And that's really low practice numbers, you know what I'm saying? Like really low practice numbers. But still, it's like maybe I didn't want to play that guitar that good that day. I just wanted to get through the the licks or whatever.
And sometimes the practice that you did like the week before, I mean, it's kind of squashed because you swapped routines out or whatever it is. So maybe like half of it's the same as it was before. So like by the time you have it all like done, maybe you only have 2 or 3 days to really like hone in on that. Or at least that's how it was for me.
Totally.
And then NuERA, could you talk about your when you're preparing for competitions, like how it goes for you?
Yeah, it's the same for me. I spend some time. I kind of separated though, like I feel like you develop a certain level of skill, and then when you're developing your routine, you're trying to apply your current level of skill to the material that you're trying to use for whatever the battle is. So if I'm not particularly preparing for a battle, I'm trying to develop my level of skill. And then when the battle or whatever battle is announced and I know it's coming up, I'm not trying to develop skill anymore. I'm trying to apply my current level of skill to whatever routine I'm trying to create. So I'm spending that time creating a routine and creating a material and then memorizing that material. So, you know, it's really just the repetition at that point. Like, how many reps can I get in on once I've got them? So the first part, you're creating material. And I feel like that's probably the more extensive portion.
That's what I was going to get at.
When you're preparing for a battle is creating your material. And that's workflow. So, you know, that's why I think it's important to kind of like do those things as much as you can. So you can, it's like making beats. Like you can sit down and make a beat and make it in 5 minutes. And you might get lucky and it hit. But the guys that are true producers have a workflow. And, you know, it's the same with creating material. You got to have a workflow. And once you understand how your workflow is, you can get your material made. You can see what you like and what you don't like. And then once you set your mind on something and this is what you're going to use, how many reps can you get in before it's time for the battle? You know?
I like that. That's a well better way. Well better said.
Yeah. But we've done that, you know, multiple times. Too many to count.
Yeah. James, I want to get into show and tell, but guess what I forgot, man? I forgot to run the intro.
You
fellas,
did.
I went right past it. I've been excited all week because I've been working on.
Can't you do it on the final recap?
Yeah,
the cut down version.
Oh no, I'm gonna do it right now, but I was laughing because I forgot about it, bro. So I've been trying to learn After Effects, and one of the first templates I learned was like this one I'm about to show. But yeah, Columbus DJ Podcast, you guys see the new overlay, but we got a new intro. I'm going to run that now, fellas. You're not going to be able to see that, but everyone else on watching will. Here it is. Bam.
You've been waiting all day for that shit, bro.
Bro, look at it. Look at it. Oh, music, stories,
there it is.
Advice.
That's cool.
We're not going to talk over it every time, but yeah, we were pretty happy about that. I was pretty happy about that. And now it's over, so we're gonna move on. James, take us into show and tell.
Yeah, guys. So basically, we just do this segment to switch topics, but also, I want to know, like, if you got anything around you, we do something that can be DJ or non-DJ related, something that's meaningful to you, in your studio, wherever you're at right now. Let's go with ESO first.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna just grab some in my vicinity, I guess.
That's fine. We've had it all, man. We've seen everything.
Literally.
All right, cool. All right. This is like the OG. I was a producer for a while, man, and the SP303 was my shit. A lot of people mess with the 404, but this was originally in a DJ tool. The SP404. I don't know if you guys are into production or any sort of analog equipment, but the SP404 was originally a DJ tool that basically the S9 and all of the new mixers now, all those pads and all that shit, that's basically a 303 or a 404 in pad form. It's kind of cool that someone was like, yeah, let's mix these one day. And now we have the mixers that we have now. But for a while I was walking around, or I would have these next to like my mixer on stage and stuff, and just have effects on it and little types of.
So how would you import effects onto that? Would it be just free from your laptop?
Nah, this would come in from the master outs of the mixer, and then this would be your final, or you would put this, or you would have the outs of this go into your auxiliary in. Depends on what you want to do. If you wanted to put effects on your music that you had, I would throw my mixer through this, and then this would be my final outs. My master outs would come through here. And now
it looks like an older model, but it looks legit. Like it looks.
Yeah, no, these are kind of ill. These are kind of crazy. They look like some weird titanium space modulator thing or something. But yeah.
Top notch right there.
Send it to SpaceX. They'll use it.
Yeah.
Man, he's got to.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna make it happen. I'm telling you. He's probably got one up there already.
Oh shit.
I'm just making
All right,
beats
New
up out
Era.
the
How about
space
you,
station.
man? I like that.
I just grabbed my record.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You know, I thought I was so excited when I got them, man.
Those are
and
dope.
Yeah, and for me, it's, you know, the guy that did the design. You know, we had talked about what I do as a DJ. So when he developed the logo, you know, we had in mind that I like to compete and I like turntablism. So I don't have to mark my records.
Yep, it's got
You
the.
know, I use those as cues, but it's always fun because when other people go, they can't use my records because they always have a hard time tracking a mark on.
I have a hard time on his record.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So nobody
I
likes.
figure it out. I figure it
Yeah.
out because whatever.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Every time I'm always like, damn, man, where is the mark at? I can't, because I got regular black ones with
I like
a
the
white mark,
arrows.
like,
Yeah.
super simple,
Yeah.
you know.
What would get me is see the R, like the R going down. If I feel like if I did like a really quick spin back, I don't know whether I'll be looking at the R or the U. That's why that would trip me up.
And that's
That
normally what
I
happens. But you know, because I use them all the time, I'm comfortable with either one. You know, I can basically they're two marks for me. I can use it like that.
Right.
Like having multiple.
So you don't need any extra stickers on there.
Nah, so
Nice.
it's always it always look good, like you get in videos and stuff like that.
It looks great, man. I'm always like, damn, I need more branding.
Yeah, that's good branding right there.
He's got like a flag in front. He's got like, you know, the mixes on his vinyl and everything.
I used to do the inside little circles.
Yeah.
Right, that you could customize
Okay.
pretty easily, but those were like, first I would try to stick them on there, like, and they would be unbalanced and shit. It was hard.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I didn't go that way, because I was like, man,
Everyone started doing it too.
Stickers are not for me. I'll mess around and it's gonna be crooked. So I was like,
The white vinyl is the cleanest too. Like that's pretty sweet.
And those are the
Yeah,
original.
for
You
sure.
have to swap them out. My stuff be getting dirty, man. That might just be me though.
I'm meticulous. I take care of them.
All right, cool.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm super meticulous.
It's just you. It's just you.
Yeah, I
Mike.
know, oh, man.
Wash your hands.
I like
man.
it, Mike.
Shoot, that's why I'm at home, bro. I can't be out here in these streets.
Yeah.
The DJ gear are my favorite show and tell, because sometimes people just grab like a dog or something, and I'm just like, come on.
I know what a dog looks like, guy.
But I actually want to, even being said that, I want to switch over to outside of DJ. We're staying within hip hop though, so we're kind of like going fashion. And so you were talking earlier. You owned your own clothing store, kind of while you were coming up DJing, and you've been focusing on that a lot now.
Heart and soul.
Yeah.
man,
Talk about it, man. Talk
me
about
Where my
it.
hoodie at, man? Where my hoodie at?
No doubt, for sure. It was a pretty legendary place. So me and two friends out of high school, we opened up a clothing store. It was the first men's sneaker boutique in Cleveland. Outside of the mall, basically. So we're kind of, if you guys got Soul Classics, we were that
Gotcha.
of Cleveland.
Gotcha.
That's the best. Yeah, that's the best way I can explain it. And we
what was it called again? Sorry.
It was called Heart and Soul. Soul
Okay.
spelled SOLE. Shoe sole, kind of, you know, play on words. And we were a national retailer for Reebok, Adidas, New Balance, Puma, basically everything but Vans and Nike on the shoe side. And then we were the first carriers to a lot of what people know now as streetwear. We were the first carriers to a lot of that and kind of that whole wave. So we were carrying Mishka, Diamond, FTP. I don't know if you guys are up to the brand called Fucked. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. But it was fun. Yeah, we did it for 8 years, 2007 to 2016. So yeah, 8.5 roughly. And it was awesome, man. It was a dope time in my life. Definitely took up a lot of time, which I think looking back, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't as serious at DJing at that moment during that time period. So it's kind of like, man, if I took that time to, you know, practice or whatever. But needless to say, it got me more than enough knowledge in other departments. So
Nice
it was all
journey.
good.
Got to be
Yeah,
well
it was an
rounded.
excellent journey.
But
Yeah,
it was needed, you know, for the city, like me coming back, because you know, I graduated high school and went to the military. When I came back, and I was looking for ways to get what my brand and who I was out there, you know, that was a place that I came across, and you know, you walk in there and it's the local watering hole. You know what I'm saying? You go there and you can find, that's how I figured out what local artists were doing stuff in the city, and how I figured out where to go for shows. And me being a turntablist, you know, that was my lifeline, was doing mixtapes and doing shows for artists and stuff like that. So, you know, to have a place like that to go to, and Cleveland, which is it's a fairly big city, and it's hard to connect with people because of how it's spaced out. You know, to know you could just go to a place like that, man. And, you know, I remember the basement parties they used to have, and bro,
it was slick. I'm glad you have somebody else here, because I'm not gonna lie, I downplay it a lot. And I've had countless kids, because we were 18 when we opened it up, right? So like we were very, very, very young. And the kids that we were meeting were 15, 16, 13, 14. This is pivotal moments for their lives. We're not thinking twice. They're only 4 years younger than us, 5 years younger than us. So we weren't thinking like, wow, you know, like we're changing everything and like giving you your whole being as a person. But literally now, I'm 30 now. And as I've met people who are like 26, 25, they're like, yo, man, when I met you, I didn't know what I was doing or where I was, how I was wearing stuff. And like, you guys showed me that fashion, and a piece of the puzzle that I didn't know I needed. And you introduced me to this artist, or I heard this in your shop, or I got hip to that from someone talking about it. There's a lot of people that have come up to me in the past years that have really, really kind of bared their soul to the point that the shop was super pivotal for a lot of people. We had a lot of super fun, really, really shaping, like culture shaping things that we didn't notice. I mean, we're 21, 22, 23. Like, we're just trying to have some fun. We're kicking it ourselves. So we didn't like take that time to really step back from it and be like, yo, damn,
Still
like
dope.
this
Big
person
facts.
really learned their whole musical selection and style from our weird basement parties. That
It
was
was the place to
super
be.
weird, but awesome. Like, really, really cool, playing a whole
Sure,
lot
it was
of
good networking though, for
it was
sure.
excellent. It was excellent for everybody involved. You know what I mean? Countless people I've met that have full business relationships just from somebody that they met at the shop, from a business, or from a basement party, or from a listening event that we did, or an in-store that we had done with an artist. You know, we were doing it all. Everything that you could think of that would come through a soul classics would be coming through ours. So we were doing in-stores with Big Sean, Kid Cudi, Fly Union, all types of stuff, man. It was really, really cool. Pulled up. If you guys check out Fly Union, I know you're from Columbus. Shout out Fly U. If you check out the Pulled Up video with Big Sean and Fly Union, they shot that in Heart and Soul.
Oh, okay. And
And
that's
want
your
to check
spot.
out what the look. Yeah.
How did you get a check?
No, we weren't. It was a favor at the time, man. We weren't that. I guess.
No, good exposure for sure, bro.
We weren't that
cool.
knowledgeable of those moments to take advantage of them at the time. So.
Right. I want to ask you, do you still have a grudge against Nike and Vans? Like, will you buy their shit for now?
Shit.
Nah, no grudge, man. I always mess with them. We didn't get them, not because they didn't want to be with us, because there was another store here that once we opened up, they put a shop right across the street from us within 9 months of us opening. Because within 9 months, we got every big brand except those two. So it's kind of like the writing was on the wall. They were either gonna fall to us or try to set up a roadblock. So the roadblock was pretty damn big. So we weren't able to get Nike and Vans at the time. So no grudges against Nike and Vans, but we did well. We all did.
Oh yeah.
One thing we always talk about when we have like the guests from out of state, you know, I think Columbus is like, you know, your base, and then Cincinnati, I think Party's the hardest, and then I think Cleveland has the most pride, right? And so I feel like you're a big part of that. NuERA you as well with the selector DJ battle, but also just with the amount of people that you guys are always shouting out and putting on. And SO, we were talking about your Sunday stream that I caught back when you were doing some like the live streamings. It's like a Sunday morning, feel good music, hip hop, soul, classics, and you were just connecting. You had about 20 people in there, just like really building a community. And I feel like that Cleveland pride is a part of that. Could you just talk about what it means to be from Cleveland and where I'm getting that from?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you noticed it. I think Cleveland forever gets the short end of the stick just for whatever reason, you know, I don't really know why, but we're kind of like a big little city. And I don't know, man. I think Cleveland has just developed this callus where we like all really support each other, but we don't help each other. That's a whole nother conversation to have. That's kind of more internally Cleveland based, but okay. Cleveland is very, very supporting of Cleveland in general. I think Cleveland is definitely like a proud, very, very proud city, proud place, proud Rust Belt, very like all the morals and all the I guess intricacies of what you would call, you know, being a Midwestern town and the heart of America in a sense. Yeah, Cleveland, I think, embodies that shit, man, for real. I think Cleveland definitely does.
What would you say, NuERA?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. And I've always felt like, you know, Cleveland has always been very supportive. You just got to give them legit reasons to support. You can't just expect them to support because you're doing something. It's like, you got to be good at what you do. It's got to be different and it's got to be special. But when you really do something that makes sense, Cleveland will get behind you. You know Definitely. What I'm saying? When you take your stuff out of Cleveland and go other places and represent, Cleveland will get behind you.
Cleveland will definitely get behind you.
Yeah, man, I saw the numbers on that Kid Cudi album. You guys need to calm down with that. Some of y'all got that on repeat.
For sure. Yeah, but just because you do something in the backyard, you know, it's just there's a level of competition in Cleveland that, you know, it's like, okay, that's cool. But I can do that too. Do something to give me a reason to support. You know, I got cousins that rap. Okay, it's cool that you rap, you know, but do something special and you'll get the support without trying. But it's got to be special. It's not going to just be something. So I think, you know, sometimes it gets misconstrued, like they, you know, people hate or whatever. But I think it's just you gotta be good, you know, and like you can't take it personally. You gotta have thick skin. So like, you know, but like I said, a portion of that is an internal conversation for Cleveland. But if you lead a city and you really doing something, you're gonna get love.
Cleveland will get behind you. I hope most cities do that, but I know Cleveland definitely does that. Is Cleveland's like one of those cities that's like, if you're getting love from somewhere else that's not home, they're gonna be like, nah, we were super hip. Trust me, like we were hip. We know what was up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It may be too late, it may not be, but regardless, they're gonna rep the fuck out of it as if it was the shit. MGK is a good example. Kid Cudi's another good example. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're going hard for Kid Cudi, but Kid Cudi was here. Kid Cudi was doing the music that he's doing now here prior to going to New York. You know, Kid Cudi actually performed at my middle school when I was in 7th grade under the name Kid Mesk. His mother was my choir teacher, to give you guys an idea of how small the city is.
Wow.
So yeah, and then he became Kid Cudi, and Cleveland is fully backing him, totally, and we're down. But it's just one of those things. It's kind of like, you know, when you're here, just here, we don't want to really say that you're all that good. But as soon as someone else from another city says that you're that good, I'm telling you, it's a wrap. Like, yeah, for sure. We're gonna stand up for Cleveland.
So you gotta
get awesome. It's cool.
Yeah, you gotta get your stripes elsewhere, and then people will back you from Cleveland.
It's not a bad thing. You know,
I think that's common in many cities, honestly.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would hope it's in other cities too. I would hope.
A lot of people target at you as a local DJ.
Yeah.
They just use the word local DJ until you're not a local DJ.
Yeah.
Preach, but nothing changed. You just went outside.
Hey man, I'm still a local DJ. It's fine.
No, one thing you'll always notice is, you know, I think when people from Cleveland leave Cleveland, they make sure everybody know that they from Cleveland, no matter, you know, where they're at, you know.
The pride thing.
And that's why when you're in other cities, it's really easy to find someone else from Cleveland. You'll be in the randomest of places and you'll find somebody because either you said something to let somebody know,
it's true,
or somebody else is gonna say something, and you're like, "Oh,
well, you guys are from Ohio. You probably get it. You meet people from Ohio everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna be known for the naked rollerblader.
I'm telling you right now, you're gonna meet somebody from Ohio if you go somewhere else within the
100%.
24 hours.
What was I gonna ask you? Oh shoot. Oh yeah. What do you guys think's gonna happen if the Browns win the Super Bowl or do well in the playoffs? Like, do I need to be worried about y'all up there?
City.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes, you were.
That'll be
Yo,
the last
I
day.
have this. I got the. If the Browns win, it's gonna be weird right now because of COVID. But regardless, I still think it'll happen.
Oh, I
If
pray
the
it's
Browns
happening.
win the Super Bowl, we will burn the city down and rebuild it within 24 hours. Just because we're that whatever. I don't know what's gonna happen, but totally, something's getting burnt and
Yeah.
something's gonna get built. Don't know exactly what's gonna happen to those two, but statues are coming up, man, for sure.
Honestly, if they make the Super Bowl, there might already be like a pre-party in the city that is just
Oh yeah.
crazy enough.
Hopefully they had a vaccine by then, because there's gonna be a whole lot of people that don't care.
Man, we're gonna be drowning COVID in vodka that night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. They won't. I would not worry about COVID. Like, COVID's gonna be the least of our worries if the Browns win the Super Bowl, man. Just
I'm telling you, the streets
shit
are gonna.
It's crazy how
Low.
many people in Columbus are definitely more Cleveland fans than
Yeah.
Cincinnati fans.
Really?
and
Yeah.
but Pittsburgh
like-
fans are aplenty. Maybe not this year, but they're there.
Nah, I
I
feel
feel
like
they're
that.
around.
I feel like it's always been like that, though. I feel like in
It
Ohio
has.
in general, more people support Cleveland sports than
That's because Cincinnati
sports.
doesn't want anybody. They're just like,
They
you
also
can't be a
are
fan of
weird.
us.
Yeah,
You
they're
don't
like
live
a
down
weird-
here.
Yeah, they're like a weird stepchild.
And a lot of
Yeah,
them-
hey man,
Columbus
we just
has
had
a
some
lot of people
Cincinnati
from
people out here. Come on now, you over here shitting on my people.
Hey man,
I'm into Cincy, man.
Yeah,
Cincy
that-
smoked me in a battle one time, though, so I got a beef with Cincy.
Oh, yep. We're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that.
I remember that.
And now I'm thinking I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's see here. What else can we talk to? New Era, you did the selected DJ battle. SOU won the first two and then kind of became a part of New Era's team. Can you guys just talk about that? Because that was something that I thought was dope. I got to be a judge. Thank you guys for having me back for that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And just talk about how it came about, where the idea was from, because it took off, and what's most impressive to me about the selected DJ battle is in a 3-month period I had attended and then come back, and the amount of talent, like the level of talent between those 3 months was there's not a word for it. It was really incredible just to see, like, whoa, that dude was like not even able to do the precursor to that trick, and now he's doing the trick 2 steps down from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so just talk about the selected DJ battle, New Era, if you could, getting that started.
Yeah. It was something where, me and Eso, we signed up for all the battles that were going on. It just wasn't a lot of them. And, and to be quite honest, being competitive, I just wanted more competition. I wanted somebody else who was willing to jump in the fray. And, I always had this still sharp and shield mindset. So I figured if I could, create a platform for people to compete, they would have a reason to improve their skills. So it actually
A little selfish, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because I really just wanted somebody. I wanted more people to compete against. Like I said, it just been me and him. I just wanted to see somebody else come around that had that same kind of drive. So I ended up getting a weekly, or at the venue, it's the B-side. I think that was probably because of SO, off of one of his connects. And so I'm doing that. And it was like a Wednesday or something. So, that's not the kind of place that really pops on a Wednesday. It's more like a weekend, like college kid drinking spot, or at the time it was. And so I did a couple nights, and then something in my head was like, just throw a battle. So I was like, all right, it's not a bad idea. And, I $150 prize, promoted it. SO came out and won it. And it went well. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do another one. And, then from there, I was like, how can I make this better? And I just kept doing them. And along the way, multiple people have supported and helped out and provided, assistance in a variety of ways, from being judges to being a door guy to being, a sound guy, because it's a lot. And that's the one thing I learned. There's just a lot that goes into managing that. Like, people want to use different equipment, people want to use different things, and I try to make all that available. I don't want to limit people and say, hey, you just got to use, because we had a guy, he used a controller and he won 3.
Yep, I remember him.
Oh wow. Cool.
And
He killed it though.
yeah,
He killed it.
it's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
of those
yeah.
things you would have never, he would have never had the opportunity to use his controller the way he did if that battle didn't exist. So shout out to Sign, you know, for him,
Yeah.
because he did, you know, 3 times and nobody could take that away.
I remember
And
2
did
things
you-
about him. I remember he had the glasses, like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I remember the other thing is like he used to set his controller down on the table with like nothing under it.
Yeah.
And he's not a short dude, so he's like
Yeah.
over here. I'm just like I'm getting back pain just watching homeboy like operate. But sorry, I interrupted you, NuERA. Keep going.
Nah, so you know, and that's really what it was about, to provide a platform for, you know, for DJs to showcase their skills. And you know, my goal was to become a beacon for DJs in the Midwest, to be able to do that, and it'd be something on a consistent basis. Because, you know, waiting all year to compete in a DMC, or wait all year for the chance to compete in a Red Bull or the Goldie Awards, is cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. But what if there was a place where anytime you wanted to catch some smoke, is there for you once a month? You can go up and, you know, wherever you at, you can make that trip one time like you did, AXCESS, or, you know, you could wait 3 months. You can go in once and take your lumps. Oh, I didn't work out. I'm gonna go home and work on that. But in 2 months, I'm gonna come back. And I feel like that's kind of like what's missing, a consistent opportunity. And, you know, I do think it's cool to have those annual battles, but to have something that's on a more consistent basis was the true goal. And I've gotten quite a few sponsors. BPM Supreme sponsored quite a few of the battles. A lot of local clothing brands.
It was awesome. It was awesome what he did, for real.
Yeah.
And I was just wanting to be. I just wanted to be in more battles personally, and then I really saw the vision though after the first one. I was like, this is not for me. Like, it's not to get me into a battle.
Right.
I've been in battles. I'm the one doing the DMC. I'm the one telling other DJs they should come join this battle, and it just started to make sense from a different aspect of like helping and just promoting and just getting more people into it. How easily and how much more that would benefit me versus me just being in the battle and taking $150 every month, which was fine. I mean, money's great for sure, but it just didn't make sense, man. And then, like you had said, AXCESS, to see the difference between 1 month to 3 months to 6 months to, you know, the first time, I don't know how many people we had in,
maybe 5
or something.
Like yeah.
And then, you know, I remember one time we had 11 in it. You know what I mean? And it's like, where are these kids coming from, man?
Yeah,
like,
where are you pulling these DJs from mostly?
Yeah, for real.
That's
They're
cool.
just kind of local, man. I mean, it started as just me, NuERA, like 3 other people who were kind of like ballsy enough to like do it. But after a while, I mean, I started calling out people. I started hitting people up like, yo, man, I'm getting this battle. What are you doing? You always talk to me about you want to be in the battles and yada, yada, yada. So we kind of like got vocal about it for real for a second.
I remember that.
And that was also played into the fact that like, I was like, all right, I'm a different affiliate. I'm not fully on the team as far as the selector battle. Like, the selector battle is NuERA. So I had a little bit of leeway to talk some shit, you know what I mean? And ruffle a few feathers so that people would be able to be like, oh, maybe I should get into this. And it did. And it was awesome. And it was dope. And we had, you know, 11 one time. I think it might have been even more than that at another point.
Yeah, there was one closer to 15 or 16, you know.
Definitely a lot, you know, and way more than I had ever seen as far as at any battle, any local battle that anybody else had ever put on, and new kids, and, you know, and it definitely, we ruffled feathers, but I definitely also, we would approach them on the same tip of like, awesome, you're here. Yeah. We love it. We're so excited that you're here. We don't care if you suck. We don't care if it's like, you're the worst one in this. There was one dude who used to come, and I forget his name, Doctor something, Dr. Robotnik or Doctor.
I know you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah. With the vinyl, he did all vinyl.
Yeah.
Yes, and he would come in and do all vinyl. Now he wasn't great. He probably never really spun vinyl prior to that. He probably didn't have 2 turntables at home. He probably had 1 table and was just like, I'm just gonna go in there and just do it. And it was raw. It was awesome. And it was like, damn, you're not gonna win, but like, we want you to go to the next round. We want you to come back. I want to know what else you're about to play.
And he always got hella love, yeah.
And he got crazy love. But it was like awesome to see that different element of things. And even when the younger DJ would be going and messing up, the crowd beyond us, the crowd would be like, you got it. Like, you got it. Start over, do your thing, and kind of like really giving people that backing of, all right, I'm allowed to suck. I don't have to come into this battle and be the new world champion right now. I'm allowed to come in this battle and completely just sound bad. Yeah. And people would totally be like, yo, that part that you did was awesome. And you should do your part like this. And it was like a really helping community that really, I think, helped a lot of the DJs, younger DJs, just be more confident, even if it didn't have them winning the battle and wanting to be a big battle DJ and whatnot. It just gave them a little bit more confidence, which was, I know that if I had gotten that when I was young, I would have been like, this is awesome. This is so cool. I would have been in there every week.
See, now I know that Craze is Esso's favorite DJ, because when Craze did 3 before, he said, all right, I'm done doing these, and Esso did 2 selected before. He's like, all right, I'm done. I got to stop taking y'all's trophies.
Yeah, I got that,
because nobody want to sign up.
I know.
Yeah, no, that's really what happened, and I was tired of taking NuERA's money, man.
Exactly.
NuERA was really, really pivotal, man, because he put up his own money, and I definitely want to make that a point, man. Like,
I was hoping you'd say that, Esso. Thank you.
For the first couple, NuERA like really was like, I'm gonna do this for the culture, and
it's huge.
That just didn't feel right to me to just go in there and sweep it up and get money every time, because it's like I'm using that money to go get some drinks with this dude later. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like me and this dude are, it was just weird. It was just like I felt so unhelpful for the culture at that time.
But we do that at all the other battles. We go and take everybody else's money.
That's true.
Absolutely. Of course, whatever.
Yeah, those Barley House people ain't got a shot.
And then we go and buy everybody else drinks. Yeah, that's the only one with the Barley House win, though. I got a pair of headphones, but he's the only person with the Barley House victory.
For sure, that was a big one for him. That was a big one in our battle in our history.
Yep. Shout out Junga. I know he has also done the Barley House one before. Yeah. Junga's a good people. Danny Paco as well. I want to ask you guys, equipment wise, have you looked at the S11 at all? I know so you just got your S9. It's tip top now.
I got my S9 back. I haven't looked at the S11. I really want to. I really am. What I'm excited for is that most of the battle scenes and most of the everything that's happening has kind of become a bit more uniform in the fact that they're now letting DJs utilize any brand. I know DMC for a while was like only Reign
sponsor,
yeah. And then I want to say Red Bull had done only Pioneer for a minute. And then obviously once you get to the Worlds, it's different ruling. But as far as in America went, they're really capitalist driven. So
that's great.
But yeah, so the fact that they're like doing that, I'm hyped. I really want to try the S11 just because the S9 was so butter to me. I can only imagine what more features they could have.
They didn't fix they didn't fix the one thing about, I don't like the way they do the queuing on the S9, like the fader and the twist knob. And then but I do like how they gave you guys, and I know you're gonna love this, SO, is you can do different pad modes. So like if you want like one of your pad modes to be cues and one of your pad loads to be loops, you can do that, which
oh wow,
that was, I know that's a pretty nice jump from, that was the biggest jump to me.
I have a question. Have they fixed being able to go from internal to relative on the mixer?
I don't, you mean without MIDI?
No, like, so normally
instead of clicking.
Yeah, you got to go to your computer and go up to the little thing and click it. I'm waiting on them to make a button that is able to go from internal to relative mode without having to touch my computer.
That'd be huge.
Basically, I don't want to touch my computer as soon as the gig starts.
Yes.
Don't put this idea out there, man. Somebody gonna steal that.
No. You
I
can
don't
do
let them
it.
steal it, man.
No, you can
I
do
ain't
it.
getting paid for
It's
it.
your $1 million idea, bro.
Intellectual property, man. Record
Hey, my
this,
man.
and then we'll go
Yeah.
take this to court. You know.
On your S9, you should be able to like figure. There should be
Mini-map
like a There should be like a custom. Like there's 3 groups, right? You get group 1, group 2, and then you get the custom group. Set your custom group. Hit the MIDI button, and then relative and internal, and map those to your first 2 buttons, and you're good, bro.
Okay.
There's a pretty good YouTube video if you just do like mapping, MIDI mapping to the S9. Put that on YouTube, bro. You're gonna love. Yeah, your next gig, you'll love it.
Yeah, I'm ashamed that I didn't think about that.
All right, man. That's why
I would assume that there had been a way. I just thought that they were
because it's still
not have
just a
to
MIDI.
rewire it by now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, we try to talk. We do this thing called Tastemakers, guys. We want to talk about music. Typically, we'll just kind of like talk about like what we're listening to. But being the end of the year, we wanted to get your opinions on Song of the Year, Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, and then honorable mention. This could be. It doesn't have to be like, you know, top of any of the categories. It could be like, yo, I was listening to this, and you know, I want to look out for them next year. But let's start with NuERA. NuERA, Song of the Year, Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, and then honorable mention.
Bro, that's rough.
Might have to go one question by one question.
That's okay. Yeah.
Song of the Year.
Song of the Year.
I'm gonna go with that. Going with my man Busta Rhymes, and I'm gonna take that Master Fard Muhammad.
That's 2 in a row for Busta Rhymes.
Yeah,
I checked out the album, the new album after April had said something last week, and it was dope. I mean, I was listening in the background, so I wasn't really listening to it. But man, that's 2 in a row for Busta Rhymes. It's crazy in 2020.
So,
good.
Album of the Year. I think that's for 2020 is that K Tronada.
Yeah,
that was 2020, wasn't it? So I had to go with that. Yeah, that was
that Bubba tape.
Yeah, man, I've been killing that since it dropped.
Oh my God, that was down.
That's 2020. It feels so long, but that was 2020. What was the next one?
Album of the Year and honorable mention.
Oh, honorable mention.
Or sorry, Artist of the Year. Artist of the Year.
Oh, Artists of the Year. That's gonna be a little tougher for me. I'm gonna go with Freddie Gibbs though.
Oh, I'm not hip.
For artist, Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah, get hip to Freddie Gibbs, Mike.
Hello.
DEI.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Freddie, FREDDIE.
The Alfredo album.
Get that album.
I'm listening to it tonight.
So
all right.
That's artist. That's my artist for the year. And then honorable mention. It's this song I've been playing on repeat recently by Russ.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Guess What, featuring Rick Ross.
Is it a hit? Because the only Russ song I've been able to play. Okay. Because he still only has the one hit, right?
Which one do you consider a hit? The one that's on the radio.
Best on Earth is the one I've been able to play and actually hits.
Yeah, if you talking about like for clubs and stuff, yeah. But no, this one is not a song for the clubs or anything like that. But it's called Guess What, and it's him featuring Rick Ross. Fire. And that's gonna be my song pick.
I like it.
All right.
I'm gonna have to look that up too. Shit.
Yeah, man,
Check that out.
This is the best part, man. I just get to,
I know.
Let me fill out my library real quick. ESO, you know the things. Song of the Year, Artist, Album, and honorable mention.
Those are such good questions, man, because I really feel that 2020 is one of the greatest years in music in the past. I would bet to say the last decade for real.
Ooh, talk about it, man. Tell me
I think
why you made that
2020,
statement.
just in general, 2020, just from start January 1st to December 31st, the amount of music that I feel is going to shape and be, I don't know. There's just so much music that has come out that's new, and it's not affected by club hits, and it's not affected by how people perceive it as a concert. It's not affected by a lot of the things that normally affect the way people make music. And because of that, it's been so much really, really, really good music that has come out.
would you say? Sorry to interrupt you, but would you say like artists are more are because like you were saying, there's no pressures of the other stuff. Artists are being more raw, more creative, more
all of
throwing
that.
shit
Yeah.
at the fan.
Yes. More artistry. They're it's putting more of their self and more of less noise. There's less noise that's there. You know what I'm saying? It's like the labels don't know what the fuck to do, so they can't recommend how they want the song to sound because they don't know what's charting right now and they don't know what's, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of elements that I really feel in all genres of music. People are just able to be a bit more creative this year alone. I feel like a lot of people are going to really look back and be like, damn, you know, we really had that. That album was 2020. Damn, that like kind of like how I just did K Tronada. Like, damn, that album was 2020. Like, wow. You know what I mean? J Electronica album, wow. Tame Impala stuff, wow. You know, it's a bunch of stuff that has come out that I feel like people are definitely going to freak out about in the next couple of years and be like, damn, I forgot that was 2020. I forgot that was 2020. And it's almost like there's too much noise to even notice it right now. So I feel like when things calm down, people be like, damn, I'm still listening to this album. Anyway, song of the year, that I don't even know, man. For real, that's such a good. I think because of how influential it was, song of the year would be Dr. Birds by Griselda. And if you guys may know it, it's the song that said, tell Virgil Wright, brick on my brick. You guys might have heard that line once or twice. If
I
you
have, but I did not know where it was from, and now I do, so I appreciate it.
Exactly, that's my point. That's
Got
why.
you.
That's why that's the song of the year. It's kind of ill. The next one was what, album of the year?
Or artists. Yep. Take them in any order.
No, I'm down with that. Damn.
Sweating over there.
Yeah, album of the year is Fuck the World by Brent Faiyaz.
Okay. Talk about it.
I just feel like more people in multiple circles have listened to that album. I've met a lot of people that I wouldn't be inclined to be listening to that. And that's kind of freaked me out. Like the whole album, like different pieces, different parts to it. There's a song of the year on that album, but I didn't want to. I felt like that Dr. Birds was just a little bit more influential.
Okay.
Artist of the year. Damn. Artist of the year is probably, for me at least, Benny the Butcher.
Okay.
I think he really had a super breakout year that was kind of ill. Once again, it's in that same world of Griselda and kind of like, yeah, heavy gunshot. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of those things, man. I feel like they really, really put a shift on the industry and really, really put a shift on the culture. And I heard other rappers really starting to come out and sound a little bit more like that, and kind of alter their sound a little bit to kind of play into that and be able to do it from, you know, I mean, Conway had a song with French Montana. The City Girls just had a Benny feature. There's just a bunch of shit that's kind of like, why am I hearing this in this top 40 hip hop world? And it's totally because they're that influential. And I feel like people just want to work with them.
Right.
Honorable.
Go ahead. No. I was saying right.
Yeah. Yeah. Honorable mention for I'm gonna put two. I know I'm not supposed to, but whatever. Honorable mention for me is Bodie James. Bodie James, hands down, easily album of the year with The Price of Tea in China, fully produced by Alchemist. Ridiculous.
Just boom bap beats all day, huh?
Yeah, it's like definitely still on that wave, you know what I mean? My political answer in that would be St. John. I thought that dude's album was incredible, and the features that he's been doing in this past 2 months, he's going to be a superstar.
He was the one that was on that Drake Dark.
Oh, I've been getting a ton of requests for St. John. Trust me.
Oh, I bet.
Like at least in March and April, I was.
Yeah. Well, they had that breakout, which I think was a late 2019 joint, but the Roses Emma Beck remix.
My mom loves that song. That tells you how big of a hit.
Yeah, that shit set him off. Then it got picked up on TikTok and it did its thing. But like, people really now stopped listening to that song and actually started to listen to St. John himself.
Gorgeous.
Even that joint Roses is dope. They had the remix with Future this year. and it's been picking up steam. And then he had the Grammys performance and shit.
He did that Mike Tyson fight too.
Oh, that was it. That was it. The Mike Tyson, not Grammy. I'm tripping. Mike Tyson performance. Like he was just in the face. Like he was like the right place, right time. So honorable mention, man. St. John. I feel like that's an honorable mention artist right there. That dude's gonna have a fucking hell of a year for 2021.
Heard it here first.
Like that.
Corrupt. You want to talk about any more? What would you say for song? Mine is
let me hear. I want to hear your guys's for real.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Go ahead, James.
Well, last week. I mean, it's not going to change from last week.
No, you can
mine's
add
a little
to
bit
it.
more on
That's
the
cool. I didn't even see it.
club aspect for me. We talked about The Weeknd. I thought it was a good album, man. I really
That
enjoyed
was
that.
2020.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. Once
Oh,
again,
man.
fire album.
Yeah.
Straight up.
What was it? Song of the year?
I think I said WAP. You said
Yeah, I said WAP.
Yeah, we both said WAP.
Because just for the all the shows I played, every request every night, 5 times a night, like.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And then
yeah.
obviously, like, Meg Thee Stallion was just killing it this whole year. And then what was the other one? Artist? Or I'm sorry.
Honorable mention, and then did you do album? Yeah, you said Weekend for album. Song.
Forget who I said
we
for
said
artist.
So what are you saying this week? What are you saying
Artist.
this week? New
Artist
ones.
and honorable mention.
I forget who I said.
It's in the past.
It's cool. We won't reprimand you.
Hold on, I'll look it up while you think about the new ones. James, can you hear me?
I mean, I'll be honest. I really enjoyed that Kid Cudi album.
There you go.
Like, I know it's late to the party.
Yeah, definitely late to the party, but really good album. I agree.
I listen. It's been pretty much all I do in the car is listen to the album.
Hell yeah.
But I know that we're probably not going to cover what we've been listening to currently. Are we doing that?
Yeah, you can do that. Talk about that.
Yeah. So because I've been
Nice
stuck in the
segue.
house all week, and I found this YouTube channel called Chilled Cal, and it's just a bunch of lo-fi hip hop,
Okay.
and it's like artists I've never heard of. It's so sick. Like
hell yeah, man. There's
Is
good
it
shit in there.
remixes or is it like original shit?
It's originals.
Okay.
And
It's
you
all
can
original, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
I
it's
know
so
exactly
good.
what you're talking about.
Chilled Cal.
You guys have probably seen them. They got like there's a bunch of those YouTube channels that are like lo-fi beats to study to. And
That's
sitting there with
pretty
like
much what it
rainforest
is.
and shit.
Yeah.
Chilled
And I
Cal's
do a
like
lot
one
of
those
like my
channels.
stocks trading and shit in the morning and I just put that on, and it's awesome.
It's like little raindrop beats and shit. Bunch of little I do that. I watch that often, man. I actually search up a lot of new artists from there. They're all instrumental beat artists, kind of like a knowledge or something like that. But
I was taking a list today, just people.
Oh
I've never
man,
heard of.
that shit is not gonna stop. You're gonna find like 5 dudes a day.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's dope. Yeah, I like that.
I have a love-hate relationship with lo-fi hip-hop because, like, on the one hand, I feel like every time there's a lo-fi hip-hop remix, like, it's either fire and I'm listening to it, like, over and over again for, like, the next 2 hours, or I'm just like, who thought that these two things would go together in this way? Because I don't know. Go ahead.
Some of those brunch parties, though, all that stuff works perfect.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's one of those things, I feel like it's one of those genres where you'll look through 10 and just be like, why are you putting this out? And then just to get the one where it's like, okay, cool, I found the Super Mario Brothers lo-fi remix that's good. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm looking for. No, I'm kidding. Did you say more?
Gotta holler at Danny Pacco, man. He's got those 8-beat, 16-beat.
He does. Me and Danny Pacco get along on a lot of that music stuff.
Nice.
Mike, let me hear yours again. It was WAP for the song.
Yeah, song, and then Meg Thee Stallion for artist, just getting that out of the way, playing all her stuff. Album, last time I said 21 Savage. This time I'm gonna say Pop Smoke. I probably put the most time into that one. Beyond the 21 Savage album. And then honorable mention for this week, I think last week I said Ariana Grande. This week I'm gonna say the Lockdown by Anderson .Paak. That's probably another song of the year for me.
I'm into that.
Just because I felt like when that stuff was going on between the pandemic and the protest riots, what do you want to call them, I felt like that was a cool, like a dope song that was like talking about all that stuff. Like I felt like there were songs that were talking about it, maybe more in depth, maybe less in depth, and there were songs that were dope but didn't quite hit the mark. And I felt like that was a good marriage of the two, where it hit the mark and it was a dope track that like I could play out. So yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and also I just wanted to say this. I was on Spotify and the banner up across the top said Big Frida Christmas album. And I was like, wow, man, am I really about to click on this? And I did. And I listened to the whole album. And it was not as bad as it sounded. I gave it 5 out of 10, which means I can't recommend it, but it wasn't, I didn't turn it off. And it wasn't as bad as I thought, but I can't recommend it. But it was interesting because it's Big Frida Christmas album. Like, and that's like the New Orleans style hip hop, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm hip to it.
Yeah, if you like that one Drake song. Well, no, Drake's got a couple songs with him on it. Interesting.
Good looking out.
I'm down with a bit. I went to a Big Frida show one time, man. Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, what was it like?
You never been to a Big Frida show?
No.
Oh, man. Oh, that shit. Yo, everything in there is twerking.
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. I've been to New Orleans.
A whole lot of everything in there, and they're all shaking ass. Every male, female, doesn't matter. Everything is shaking in that bitch.
And it's
a great time, for real. You just gotta keep an open mind.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I clicked on it, because I'm like, wait a minute.
Damn, I have to
Twerking
use
and Christmas
this
don't go
shit.
together. But they do.
Big Frida, it's like all New Orleans bounce shit, but it's like she's
like
very,
redrum. Mike, is it like redrums and stuff?
What is it like? It's just twerking music, man. It's like it's as if Miami Booty Bass was New Orleans.
I could see I could see like a Jingle Bells, but like, what else you got?
There's definitely Jingle Bells. I mean, if you're that curious, bro, you give it a listen. Like I said, it wasn't terrible. I didn't turn it off. So
Santa Claus is coming to town.
No, it was like it was worse. it was maybe playing on the words for sure.
All right. I'll check it out.
I want to make sure we don't lose our sponsorship. Speaking of sponsors, no, I'm kidding. What else do you want? Oh, tips for listeners. I almost forgot. Guys, 2 of the dopest battle DJs I've ever witnessed. You guys don't have to do battle tips, but any tips for DJs that you'd like to share, we'd like to hear them. And Esso, I'd like to start with you if you can, please.
Organize your music. That's pretty
Serato
much
library, Serato
and
crates.
all of it. Like, like organize your music. Stay as organized as possible when you start. Yes. I have recently organized 2 old hard drives of music, which equated to like 60,000 songs or something. And it's a fucking nightmare to do it now. So just do it from the get-go. And know what you have. Like, that's a big tip that I always try to tell people is like, just know your crate or crates, or know what you have. Like, you'll always be able to pull out that sleeper joint if you know you have it and you know where it's at in your crates, so that you can get to it and work up your BPMs to it. And you know it's going to be a hit, it's going to work or not. I don't know, I mean, whatever. But as long as just know your music, organize your music, know your music. Yeah, that would be my biggest,
I like that one, because if you're an experienced DJs, you got a lot of downloads, a lot of music. I mean, it's easy to lose.
Oh man, my iTunes is in shambles from all the remixes and intros and dirties and cleans, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't let it go on shuffle because I'm just, like, what the hell is this? But
to your point, that's why I love Spotify, man, because no intro outros. It's not like you're listening to the same song over and over again.
Well, you can't. Unfortunately, they don't have the streaming services yet, unless it's Tidal, to play play out your music.
Sure. So
that's more so what I'm thinking is like, my computer iTunes kind of thing,
I got you.
Not so much my library like that, but yeah.
It was actually a similar tip in regards to knowing your music. And I was listen to your music. You should have an understanding on how the songs that you're playing are constructed before you play them out. It shouldn't be your first time hearing the song when you out playing it, because that's really how you fuck up transitions, because you don't know how the song is constructed. You don't know where the chorus is or where the bridge is.
Energy levels, all that.
Energy levels, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You think, oh, I can snatch this up because it's a 16-bar intro, and you don't even know how the lyrics go in the song. Maybe they don't do a normal chorus. Maybe they do something else. And now you're trying to transition where you think it's supposed to go, and it doesn't work. They started the next verse early or something, and now your transition's fucked up. The energy's messed up, because you didn't listen to the song. before you play it. So
I would even I like that tip a lot. I was gonna say, like, even on top of that, I would say when you're on your like music sites and you're downloading music, make sure you listen to everything, because there might be something that you don't, that you just kind of skip because that, like, the name and title or the artist that you've never heard of or something like that. Do that. I know that many DJs do that for sure. Like, it doesn't matter what music site you're on, if you're just only downloading familiar artist names, and then you don't even listen to it, you just know that you have to have it for your library. That's definitely a problem.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what always the second dubstep drop always gets me. So sometimes like back like 2011 when dubstep was like popping or whatever, the first drop would be like the house drop. You'd be like, all right, cool, I can use that. And then maybe you let the record go too long for whatever reason, and all of a sudden the dubstep drop kicks in, and you're like, oh shit.
Change tempos on you.
Yeah.
I've definitely done that.
Lately, I would say when we were doing clubs in like March and April, I would get requests for songs I didn't have, and then I'd be like, nah, this ain't it, and I'd cut it off. But it'd be like before like some part of the song. Like imagine cutting off God's Plan before whatever that is.
Because you didn't know.
Oops. But they'll let you know in the VIP. They will definitely let you know.
You didn't let that whole song play out? What the hell?
Come on, man. You get the third verse.
You didn't play two Chainz fucking Mercy verse? Come on, man.
Who always gets mad?
It's always at the end.
Yeah, whose fans always get mad? Oh man, you didn't. I feel like the Gucci fans, like, oh, you didn't play the Gucci verse, man. Oh, bro, we ain't got time for that. I'm sorry. Also, we did tips for listeners. Oh, where can people find you guys? Both in Cleveland and online. I know you guys said you haven't been streaming too much recently, but what has your schedule been like for people to try and find your music?
No doubt. Go ahead, NuERA.
DJNuERA.com is the website. As far as shows, I've kind of just been anything in a club or venue. A lot of the venues I DJ at are still closed. But once they're back open, like the Foundation Room was a prime spot for me for the House of Blues Foundation Room. Touch Supper Club was another one locally. And then, so that's if you want to see me in person. And then I'll be on tour with artists and stuff like that. So you just have to keep track, because I'll, spend a lot of time in Chicago, New York, and DC. So those are a lot of places I travel to doing shows for artists. A3C in Atlanta was another one. So whenever that stuff fires back up, I'm sure I'll be back there again. And then I drop mixes occasionally. A lot of the stuff I do, I like to record it live. So, a lot of the mixes, I like to record them live at clubs or whatever events I'm doing, but I've been recording more at home. So SoundCloud, which you can find through my website, Mixcloud, also you can find through my website. And then I drop videos whenever I'm feeling creative on Instagram. So at DJ NuERA, for that DJNuERA.
What was the name of the YouTube series you did for a while? You had a number of episodes on it.
Oh, I did the Let's Dance.
Yeah, Let's Dance
thing, and those were cool. And again, it was just being creative, seeing, how I could mesh songs in different genres and keep that tempo upbeat, and doing it fast and technical. And again, that was it was almost like I was using that really to develop skill in regards to set building. So it was like, let me build, that's what I talked about this before too. It was like, let me build these 1 or 2 minute routines for Instagram or YouTube. And it's like, you can't get away with playing one song and doing maybe one transition in 1 minute. What if I can fit 5 or 6 transitions in that 1 minute? How could I go about doing that, and how can I do it clean and still show a level of skill and turntablism along with it? And then how can I do that in a way to where it's not centered around 95 BPM hip hop music? How can I include other genres while I'm doing those things? So that's kind of like where that came from. I'm going to do more of those as well. It's just, again, where my creativity takes me.
I feel you, man. I think we all understand that this year, and I definitely did enjoy that series as well. Eso?
Yeah, I still do clubs. Before COVID, I was doing Barley House on Fridays and Rumor on Saturdays as the headliner DJs there. Since COVID began, I've only picked up Rumor. I do that Saturdays, but it's more of a rarity. I try not to do too many DJing just because it's not as I think the crowds that are outside right now are not as fun for me. It's pretty one-dimensional musically. I'm pretty really eclectic, so I like to get the gigs that I can do more on, kind of spread my wings a little bit more. So you'll catch me down at Truman's, is a spot out here in Cleveland. Truman's 216 for like some Browns games or Ohio State games if they're on. But more so just kind of like local stuff. So if you're around, if you follow me on Instagram, Eso Did It. If you're checking out my website, sodidit.com, I will be posting up any sort of time that I'm out and about DJing. But for the most part, catch me on the internet. sodidit.com is the best place you could check it out. I post everything that I'll post on YouTube or Instagram through there to make sure that you don't miss it. I have a YouTube channel, Eso Did It on YouTube. So it's Eso Did It pretty much on every social media or site. And in this new year, a lot of those will be updated. And I will be doing different types of weekly and bi-weekly mixes, kind of fun things. I used to do this thing called Sample Saturday on my Instagram, which went very, very well. I just didn't like the constraints of Instagram. I don't want to be just for a minute, and the IGTV is not really. I just don't like the presentation of it, So yeah, I'm on YouTube doing that. It'll be longer than a minute. It'll be all different types of things, but YouTube and sodidit.com in this new year, you'll be able to catch me doing multiple things per month relating with DJing, as well as any sort of fashion or clothing pieces that I'm dropping. Catch them on there just as well. And yeah, that's pretty easy. S-O-E-S-O is spelled, it's S-O is spelled E-S-O for anybody that is not familiar. E-S-O-D-I-D-I-T. S-O Did It. DJ Eso. You can find me. I don't think there are too many others DJ Esos out there, so I should be easy to find. If not, look for me somewhere having a ball, having a good time. If I'm having a good time, come hang out, say what's up.
Love it, man.
We have a good time together.
I also like the Ohio only streams that you did, or I can't remember if they were streams or recordings.
Yeah.
I like those.
Thank you, man. I did a stream with a local website out here called I'm From Cleveland. It's like a local blog that they're actually pretty big in the state of Ohio. But I did an all Ohio set for 2 hours one time during the early quarantine era, and that was really, really cool. I touched on everything. I tried to get as deep as I could and as north as I could, and not just have it be only Cleveland, because I could go Cleveland for hours, but I wanted to show as much love as I could to everybody all over. So that was cool. That was fun.
I know. Listen, Corrupt. I know we got to give these guys shout outs. They're from Cleveland. Listen, guys, we're gonna give you like a minute each. Did you shout out everybody you know from Cleveland? We all, we know how you guys like to do it. So go ahead, shout outs.
Go ahead, NuERA.
Shout out. Man, shout out everybody. Shout out, Cleveland, my dog, Eso. Shout out you guys. Yeah. Shout out my homie Vice. Shout out United Grind, Forest City. Shout out. There's a couple artists on my playlist I have. It's called the New 90s playlist. It's on Spotify, and it's a lot of. I try to just do independent artists, because I'm from Cleveland. There are quite a few from Cleveland, but Eli the Don, my man G Huff, Stan Lee, Von Swagger, Wes Will, Tiger Uppercut. Those dudes, they've been dropping heat recently. So I got all of them on my playlist on Spotify. It's called the New 90s playlist. So shout out all of them.
Eso?
Nice. Yeah, shout out my 3Cs family. Shout out everybody that fucked with heart and soul. I'm gonna shout out some artists because I feel like we're musical right now. Eli the Don, that's my dog. I'm glad you said it, NuERA.
Yeah.
Pablo Amor, this other guy named Audio Visual or Dinosaur L. This other cat named Peach Curls. Check all of them out. And my man Doja Power Play. Shout outs to you. I want to give a shout out to 2 DJs that whooped me and NuERA in a battle very early on. Shout out DJ7.
Oh.
Shout out
Mr.
Motherfucking Remix.
Look at me now. Look at me now, 7. Come get me now.
Man. Nah, that's the OG.
I'm just kidding.
Bring that shit too,
man. They solid dudes. So how me and this dude NuERA met, man. This dude NuERA hits me up like, yo, you want to be in this battle with me and be my partner, like my battle partner? And I'm like, hell yeah. No one's ever asked me. So I'm like, fuck yeah, like, let's do it. And so we jumped in this battle versus two other sets of older DJs. 2 of them, Kosher Cuts and this cat John Doe. You guys may know
John Doe. I know.
Both of
I know
them.
Kosher.
They're pretty veteran. And then DJ7 and Mr. Motherfucking Remix. So we were going against like Cleveland OGs, like we were kind of like palms are sweaty type shit, you know. Yeah, and we ended up getting second place, and 7 and Remix banged on us.
Never forget it, huh?
It was cool. It was good though. It was fun. It was all in good fun. It helped us out in the long run.
Your losses help more than the wins, right?
Always. So shout out to them, you know, and shout out to AXCESS and DJ Corrupt. Appreciate you guys for getting us on here.
Oh man, we had to even when I first started this thing, I'm like, as soon as we go to Cleveland, I gotta get NuERA and ESO just for what you guys do with the selector, and then from a talent level. You know what I got to do, Corrupt, is next time I got to figure out, now that I'm starting to understand this stuff, is how to play videos of, like, you know, people doing their thing. Because I feel like, you know, if you were just, like, especially NuERA, if you were just, like, listen to him talk, like, right now, you wouldn't understand like,
you
how
wouldn't
bouncy,
get it, man.
how bouncy he is behind the turntables and what he's able to do.
That's a great idea.
I'll work on that. But, guys, thank you so much for being on. James, anything you want to talk about before we take off here?
Stay safe, stay positive like you guys are doing. Like, we'll get through this. Appreciate you guys, what you do for the culture in Ohio, and it's great getting to know you guys, and hopefully we'll keep in touch. Episode 32
in the books.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, fellas, man.
Peace out, guys. Thank you.